Hello, welcome to the RC block. I'm Jamie Nitro. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight I'm going to be doing an oil change on the world's smallest hot rod. And so I got the Micro V8 made by Cison, the overhead valve version. And this guy is in desperate need of an oil change. And I'm going to take you through and what you do on an oil change for a little micro car is actually very close and similar to what you do on a real car. So stay tuned and let's get to it. On this part, we're gonna need to definitely have an oil pan here. This will allow the oil to drain into. I also have some paper towel laid down just so if I get any splash overspill, it's all gonna go on that or be a little easier to clean up. Now first off, I'm gonna take off the filler plug. This is where you fill the oil. There it is there. That's where you fill the oil, but that's also where you can check the oil as well. Now I've been still trying to figure out like what I can use is like a very nice dipstick, so it tells you what is actually what is reading inside of the oil pan. I haven't come up with something yet. I've been using Q-tips with the ends taken off or cut off there, and then I can take this Q-tip, and as I got the end cut off, I'm able to take that in there. And right now it's on jack stand, so it's probably not going to read very much. Well, it's not reading anything right now. Okay, so there you go. So the oil came up inside here about that far, and I literally got it to the top. So this thing is actually overflowing with oil right now. So it's a good thing I'm doing an oil change here. Now you want to make sure you put everything in a safe place so you're not going to lose it later. And first off, I'm going to take the oil filter off. So that's what the oil filter looks like. Looks pretty much like a real oil filter. And I'm just gonna take the oil that's inside and just pour that out into here. Oh, look how black it is. Now I use Marvel Mystery oil, and I don't use a lot of it. I put about 7 milliliters for every liter of fuel when I mix it up. And what I find is that Marvel Mystery oil really helps keep the internals of the engine clean. It keeps the carbon from building up and shoots it all down to the oil pan. So when you do an oil change, you're literally getting rid of all this carbon from the engine. Every time I've ever taken apart this engine, looks beautiful and clean inside. I'll throw up a picture just to show you. Now underneath here we got, we'll let that drain out a little bit more into the paper towel. Now I'm going to take this filter off, and the filter that I'm using is a one-piece filter. I like to get right underneath or top of it here. It just slides off nicely. Now look at what the oil filter is collecting. I have a hole all the way through that allows for the pickup from the bottom, and the oil gets saturated down into the filter and gets picked up to the bottom of the oil filter here. And it's nice and clean on the bottom. There are no metal pieces anywhere, and it doesn't go down. So now I'm going to have to thoroughly clean the oil filter here to get everything out. So with that, I'm going to use soap and water, thoroughly clean it, get everything out. Sometimes I have to pick it out with a nice set of little tweezers here, and some pieces are really hard. You see a little bit of a side piece here, but everything gets caught up in this foam. It works really nice. I haven't had any problems or noticed any issues since I've been going to a filter like this. So I strongly recommend. And really, I used the foam that came in the package when I ordered the engine. It comes in this black foam, and that foam seems to be oil resistant, oil and fuel resistant, because these oil filters, foam filters, I haven't had one, you know, eat up or anything. So right on. I really like this setup. I've never seen it before, and I've actually switched all of my filters that have screens in it. I've actually switched them over to a foam, so that because it allows good flow but catches everything. So there you go. That's beautiful. And I can really smell all the carbon in the oil too. So I'm glad I'm doing an oil change. It's definitely time for it. Inside here I need, what size is this? It looks like this guy. Now this is the first time I've done an oil change while the car is together like this. So I'm kind of learning, as you guys see. So this just might be a part that I speed up. That is too small. So you don't have to put the drain plug in super tight, so you don't need to go in there. A little ball end worked very nicely. And the oil is draining out. And I just dropped the oil plug. We'll find that later. So here, so I guess it's kind of hard to see, but she's draining out nicely. So I'm gonna let that drain for a minute, clean up the filter, and then we'll get ready to put everything back together, clean it all up, and put oil back in. Okay, so everything's all cleaned up. I have a lint-free surface, nice and clean, so I can go ahead and put everything back together, not worry about any type of dust or anything being on any of the parts. Now, first thing we want to do is put the drain plug in. So I'm just gonna line that up here, line it up to the hole.
sometimes when you have the motor in a model like this, it can be very difficult to get at certain parts or put pieces back together. There we go, got it. But what the important part is, make sure you're not cross-threading.
If it feels tight at all, as you can see, it goes in very nice and easy. Then the drain plug might be cross-threaded. You want to back off, and there, that feels nice and tight. I'm just doing like little thumb tight because I have a really nice O-ring in there to keep everything sealed. Now the oil filter that I made is a little bit tight going back on. I have a clear indent on the bottom here which shows me which end was down, so I know this side here with the nice circle on it is the bottom. So I'm going to turn this to the right direction. I actually used I used soap and water to clean initially. Then I used alcohol to clean off everything, got it all nice and fluffy again. Then after the alcohol, I used a towel to dry it off, and then I took a magnifying glass with a pair of tweezers and any pieces of debris I could find under a magnifying glass. I took those out. So I really took the time to clean this out nicely to make sure that it's ready to go for the next time. It would be nice if there was like a 10-pack you can buy, so when you go to clean everything, you know, you do 10 of them at once to clean it instead of having to do this every single time. It's a little bit of a process, but it's worth it to make sure that your motor is in good condition and getting a nice filtration for your oil. And I've been really happy with how this oil system works on the Cison here. So I'm going to put the filter cover on now, and that just screws on like any oil filter would for your car. You just want to slide it up over top of the foam filter and just gently screw it in place. Now this is a long screw, so the best thing might be to speed this up a little bit. Okay, so I got it on finger tight only. You want it as tight as possible with your fingers, but you don't want to use a wrench to tighten it down, because then you could damage the little Teflon seal that's at the top of the oil filter there. So just finger tight, it's more than enough, trust me. But you want to make sure that you can see the word Cison facing out towards you, and as nice and toward you as possible. You don't want it towards the front. It could be a little bit towards the back, you know. Mine, I have the N is, you know, facing more back, and the S is almost facing directly towards me, if you wanted to, because it's a circle. And so time to put some oil back in here. And to put oil, the oil that I'm using for this guy is the Mutol ATV S by S. I figure if it can handle being in a ATV, it can handle this little V8. The stuff I'm using is the 4T by 10W50, and I have a nice little tool. It's got a perfect amount. I use 20 milliliters. I find that there's a little bit of blow by that happens on the pistons, and every time I do an oil change, I always got more oil in there when I started. So I've been going with 20 milliliters and finding it's more than enough. So I have a little tip here, and I'll just put my tip inside the fill-up compartment and eject everything into the oil pan. Now I will disconnect the hose from the syringe to allow everything in the hose to also drain into the engine as well. And it looks like it's almost all the way down there. And there you go. So that's it. Now I got a I'm full of oil. The engine is ready for more play time. I'm going to put this in using my tweezers. And this is a little bit of a trick to get in there every single time. Like I said, tight places means it's going to be real fun putting all this stuff back together. Alright, she's in place. But a nice good luck, a little bit of luck, and you can get her in there first time. That was quick. I didn't think it was going in. Alright, so there you go. Now that she is all fresh with new oil, I can take the jack stands down, and there you go. It's actually a little bit easier to do an oil change on this than a real car, but the process is pretty much the same, just on a smaller scale. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions, or if I forgot to mention anything, please leave a comment below and I'll definitely get back to you. So thanks for watching. Good luck on your next build. Bye for now.